Hello and welcome to today's tips and tricks. This March 23rd of 2021. We'll let a few people trickle in here as we get started. It usually takes about a minute or so for the attendees to all file in. They treat the entryway like a real doorway into a conference room. So we'll pretend like that's happening right now and everybody is just taking a seat. So first and foremost, appreciate you taking some time out of your day to join this call. I look forward to doing these each month. I get a little bit of anxiety in hopes that I'm providing you all something valuable. And so again, I just appreciate you all showing up and taking an opportunity to learn more about Aptivata. Now, if there's anything that you would like to suggest, any comments, any sort of concerns about these, we do send out a survey at the end, so keep that in mind. We do appreciate and value your feedback. And what's nice is once we get that feedback, then we share it with others who do webinars as well. So we try to create this culture of good, positive webinars for you all to enjoy. Also, before we get started, I do have Mark helping me out in the background. So if you have any questions throughout, feel free to hit those up in the Q&A section. You'll see a little Q&A button. We really like you to ask the questions in the Q&A because it allows us to take a look at those at a case-by-case basis. If Mark can answer it during the call, then great. If not, we'll have plenty of time at the end as well for questions. So in the Q&A is where we'd like the questions asked. If you do have a question or if you do have something to say in the chat, then you can ask those, or sorry, just, yeah, post in the chat if you want to make any sort of comments, but any sort of questions, go ahead and ask that in the Q&A section. And also, speaking of the chat, Mark has added the giveaway link. As you may or may not know, we give away $100 to Amazon at the end of every single call. So that gives you something to stick around for because you do have to be present to win. So I switched over to the agenda. We've already covered a couple of items here, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what we would be talking about today. Obviously, we have the sweepstakes in the chat, so go ahead and enter that. We'll email you out the $100 gift card if you are the winner there at the end of the promotion or at the end of the webinar. I'm going to cover a couple of upcoming national promotions to put on your radar. Now, we do understand that there might be some people on this call who don't participate in our national promotions, and that's okay. We just figure this is a good time to show what's upcoming and how to access that information. And of course, I already mentioned the survey at the end, so we appreciate any feedback that we get there. Then we'll be talking about some recent updates, things that I find really valuable, and hopefully you do too. And then our big announcement of adding our standard form to quizzes, surveys, and polls. And we'll get into a little bit more detail about that. Then we'll have plenty of time for questions, and then quickly at the end, we'll pick a contest winner. So I always look forward to that as well. All right, moving right along here. We have the Mother's Day and Father's Day national promotions. I apologize if that text is a little bit small on your screens, depending on what you're viewing this webinar on, but you can find this information available on our Idea Studio at ideas.aptivata.com. And I'll show you that in just a second. But we have the 2021 Mother's Day giveaway, and the run dates for that are April 12th to May 9th. And the Father's Day giveaway is May 17th to June 13th. And the contest execution, the $1,000 prize, the rules, copy ideas, and the applicable winner paperwork and tax information is included by us. Now, these are two separate promotions. So if you're going to run one, you might as well run the other. So you do have to sign up for each one of those individually, but those sign-up forms are available at the Idea Studio. And let me go ahead and pull that up for you. So if you go to our Idea Studio up here at the top, you'll see a tab that says National Promotions. And then just in the order that they run in Aptivata, you'll see that you have the Mother's Day giveaway, the Father's Day giveaway. And let's say I want to sign up for one, then you'll scroll down and you'll find that sign up form down there at the bottom. So great opportunity to engage with your audience and not have to shell out a prize, but you can tie in local sponsors as well. We understand that there are some reservations in running national contests because more participants are involved in that. So it is a great opportunity to get those local sponsorships tied in as well. Jumping back to the slides here, let's talk about now some recent updates to the platform. Now you can view all of our release notes at help.aptivata.com. And again, I'll show you that in just 1 second. We just started listing those on our help.aptivata.com page. So by all means, this isn't all that we've done in the last few months, and there's more to come as well. In fact, we're compiling our March release notes right now, so it's always fun. I don't know about you, but whenever I update an app on my phone, I like to look at what, well, my favorite apps, that is, I like to look at what those releases are. So this is something that I enjoy that we're able to put out here. So I'm sorry, I had the screen paused, but here we go, recent updates. So let's talk about a couple of these, and I'll actually show you how a few of these do, or how a few of these work, but some of them, a simple explanation will work. So the first one, we changed the promo grid expiration date default to 30 days versus 15 days. You may or may not have noticed this already, but the reason why we went with 30 days is because we understand that there are some FCC rules for our media partners that require you to put the rules on your website for at least 30 days after a contest is expired. So what's nice about this is you run the contest, it's over, it will stay on the promo grid for 30 days so that people can still access the rules. Now they can't enter the promotion, but they'll be able to click on the terms and conditions. So if that's something that you want to utilize, then of course we have the rules stored. Any rules that you input in the setup process of your contest, they'll be available on that promotions terms and conditions page. It's a little link down there at the bottom. Now you can change this default back to as many days as you'd like. Our default originally was 15 days, but we wanted to make that accommodation to our media partners. And that it would be found under the promo grid settings right there on your promotions page. We've added a choose winner tab to quizzes, surveys, and polls. So now you can randomly select a winner. In the past, what we'd recommend was downloading the CSV, using a website like random.org, and then assigning the number to some lucky winner. But now you can choose a winner directly from your quizzes, surveys, and polls. We've added the ability to make URLs clickable from a gallery submission. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let me pop right over to my other screen here and jump into the dashboard and give you an idea of what that looks like. So let's take a look at this Easter Bunny gallery that I have set up here. Now, in the entry form, you'll notice that I've added a field called website URL. So we've actually created a new field to accomplish this, and it's under input fields, and it's website URL input. And what that looks like is you just give it a label, make it required or not, and then of course how you want it to show up for your returning participants. So I added an extra one here. I'll go ahead and delete that. And then depending on where you let's see, you'll want the website URL to be connected to the description portion of your photo layout. And what that means is when I preview this, I have a picture here of my dog dressed as a bunny, and the website URL is there. It's clickable for anyone to click on. Now, there's certain use cases for this. And where this came about was we have some people who actually use, or some companies who actually use our gallery as more of a customer directory or a business directory, for lack of a better term. So business directory, and so they'll say, hey, businesses, why don't you fill out this directory form? And then they use our gallery to display those businesses. So the business could upload a business logo, then of course in the description, they could input their address, any contact information, and now they can even put in their website URL. So that's clickable there. So this example that I have up on my screen, it was more to show off my dog, but I have a feeling that you'll all have some creative use cases for that website URL. That's something that was requested several times. We listened and we added it. So again, you'll just add the field and you can have multiple connections to your gallery there. Now, what that looks like on the participation side, go ahead and submit an entry here because there's actually a couple of features that I want to show you while I'm on this gallery screen. So since I already entered with my email to submit, I'm going to use Mark's here. All right, I'm going to upload from device. Let's see. I have it right here. Got a lot of pictures on here. So here's one of me holding my dog. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but we've actually changed the upload bar. It used to just be a GIF of a loading wheel. Now it's an actual upload. It happened in an instant there, but I think that communicates to your participants that media is being imported a little bit better than what we used to have. But we've also included these rotation buttons. So for those of you who are veterans in our gallery application, you know that you receive a lot of images that are rotated, and if you have to rotate them on the back end, it takes a while for that to register. Well, now hopefully giving the user the opportunity to rotate it the right way will take that workload off of our admins. So pretty excited. It's really simple update, but a useful one at that. So wanted to point that out while I was on here, and yeah, so let's take a look back at our list of things that I wanted to show you. All right, I guess I'll read through the rest and then actually show you on the admin side. So our gallery source selector now allows for form builder app IDs. That one pretty much goes without saying. You can actually pull in a form from sweepstakes, and now you can pull in a form from our form builder if you don't want to use the standard gallery form that happens when you create a gallery. And I'll show you that in just a second. We've also added an integration to Promo Suite. And then one of my favorites on this list is the ability to switch a promo type from not syndicated to hosted or template after installing it. So let me just jump right back into the admin here. Sorry for all the back and forth, but this is good stuff here. So the first one was the gallery source selector now allows form builder app IDs. So if I didn't want to use that form in the gallery that comes as a default, then I can create a form builder form and just say alternative form, keep it not syndicated, and I'll jump back into my gallery, go to the Easter Bunny one here, and on add a source or entry form, of course, I'd want to delete out the old form first, then I can use it says use contest form, and then I can find my alternative form that I just created, and it can pull in a form builder versus just a sweepstakes. Yeah, just a simple update there, but giving you some more options on how to manage some of these. Also, again, for those of you who use Promo Suite, we have added a Promo Suite integration, and to connect that, all you need to do is if you don't see it in your list of integrations here, you can just reach out to us directly and we can get that added for you within minutes. Yeah, if you're a Promo Suite user, then all you need to do to connect it is grab an API key from your Promo Suite account and attach the call letters associated with your account, and the Promo Suite integration is connected there. So really useful integration that I'm sure some of you will utilize. And then the ability to switch a promo type from not syndicated to hosted or template after installing it. So there's a couple of uses for this. Let's say you go ahead and you create a sweepstakes at a market level account or a parent level account. So you create your sweepstakes and you're in a hurry, you say, you know, this is just a Aptivada giveaway, whoops, and you click create promotion. You're like, oh no, I needed to syndicate that down, or maybe you didn't know what that feature was and found out later. Now with this update, you can actually do it after the fact. So under more settings, you'll see a new option, and it'll only show up if you're on a market level account, and you'll see syndication type. So now I can switch this to hosted or template, and you'll see what happens. Right now I don't have my syndication tab up here in the upper right hand corner. So if I want to make this hosted, I've switched it. It's going to reload the page to now activate that tab, and now I can syndicate this contest. In the past, you would have to reach out to us. We'd have to go into the back end and switch it for you. And we were always happy to do it, but we figured this is a lot quicker for your needs. So you can change it after the fact. Now, another use case is our templates. I don't know how many times people have gone in and wanted to use, let's say, this kitchen appliance giveaway, and they want to use our graphics, they want to use our information, but they add it to the market level account, and that's where it lives. But of course, you don't want to run your contest from your market level account. You want to be able to syndicate it. So now with this feature, you can syndicate our templates down to your children account as well. Now, in this case, there would be no need to syndicate it as a template, of course, unless you made some changes, because you can access this template on all accounts. But yeah, you could now make this kitchen appliance giveaway a hosted contest and syndicate it down to your child accounts there. So very useful update right there. So looking at the release notes in our Aptivada Help Center, we have help.aptivada.com. Down here at the bottom, you can see some articles that we've created of past release notes. And like I said, the 6 that I pointed out here are just scratching the surface. You can come in and see all the different changes that we've made. So if there's a feature that's new or a feature that that has changed, and you're like, what happened to that? We have some documentation of when that change was made, and you know, and lists of other changes as well. So we'll have a new set of release notes coming out at the end of March with some of the features that are coming out now. So with that, one of the big ones that will be on our next iteration of release notes is the fact that quizzes, surveys, and polls now have our standard form. And it looks like that might be getting cut off for you there. But yeah, quizzes, surveys, and polls now have our standard form. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So jumping back into the admin here, and take a look at a quiz that I was playing around with earlier. Of course, you're going to get a lot of Easter themed stuff as that holiday is right around the corner. But for those of you who are familiar with our quiz, survey, poll application, you'll know that it used to have a different form, and it was actually really limited on information that you could ask. Now, of course, you could ask first name, last name, email address, and so forth. But with this, now you have our standard form that you're already used to when you build a sweepstakes, a gallery, or any other application that we have created. So with this, we kind of treat it like the entry form on a gallery where we don't include step 3 or step 4. Now, if you want bonus entries, you can still tie a survey into a sweepstakes and run it that way. But in this one, we're just asking up front for some information here. So under step 1, you can choose how they log in. Under step 2, all of the different form fields that you've already had access to. So we've already quadrupled, maybe even 5 times the amount of information that you could collect with our old forms. But I think the biggest feature to this, for those of you who have integrated with some sort of CRM or your own CRMs or a client CRM, is the list opt-in option. Now, not to live in the past too much, but you're pretty limited on the connections you could make between CRMs using opt-ins with the old form. Now with the new form, it acts just like your form in a sweepstakes or a gallery. So you can add these opt-ins. They can connect directly to CRMs. You can tie in sponsor CRMs and so forth. So with a quiz, the initial landing page is going to have that form, and it will just look something like this. They'll fill out their information and then move on to the quiz questions. Now, we've also added it to surveys and polls. And if you're, again, familiar with these applications, the surveys and polls and quizzes, the setup is pretty much the same with a few little features. Now, let me create a poll real quick. I'm just going to call this test poll and not add much to it. Now, with a poll, the way that it works is with a poll, you ask the questions up front, and then if people want to be able to see the results, then you can gate off the results with the entry form. So, let's say you have it included in a news article and you run the poll, you say, what should we do about this situation? Add 2 options and people can vote. Well, you can, at the end of that poll, you can ask for information for those who want to see the results of that poll, but you're going to get responses before they fill out their information. So on a poll, you set up the finished message, the form first, and then toggle through how you want those statistics and the summaries to show. And then with surveys, the form is asked up front, and then you fill out, and then you answer the question. So pretty self-explanatory there without really going into a ton of details. A couple of things with this to note. Currently, we know that some of you have run quizzes without asking for any information. We know with the addition of this form right now, quizzes are going to have that form added to all of them, but we are working on a current solution to make those quizzes anonymous. Again, we know that some of you like to just run some quick quizzes for user interaction. So right now, when you create a quiz, that form will be present on those quizzes. So keep that in mind. And the same goes for surveys. We know that there might be an instance where you want to run an anonymous survey. So what we've done instead is you could actually run that survey and set it up as a poll. Now, I know there's a mix-up on terminology there, but because people can answer the questions without filling out the form on a poll, then that's where you'd want to run your anonymous survey style promotions. And as far as questions go, you have all the features, all the same questions that you can ask. You can do the different conditionals in a poll. So if they answer, yes, I'd like to buy a home in 5 years, then you could say, okay, ask them this question. So a couple of things that you may or may not be used to with this change. But yeah, the 2 biggest that you might notice out of the gate, currently the quizzes will always have a form to fill out. We are working on a solution for anonymous quizzes. And then if you want to create an anonymous poll or an anonymous survey, then you'll want to do it as a poll there. We're happy to answer any questions. It looks like Mark is doing a great job in the chat. Again, if you have some questions, make sure you're asking those in the Q&A if they apply to everyone there. So yeah, with that, we have plenty of time for more questions. So let me jump back in and let's see what kind of questions we might have here. All right, looks like we are getting some questions in the chat. So I'll just go ahead and address the one that's in there now. But again, if you have a question, ask it in the QA so that we can show it to everybody here. So let me pull up the QA, make sure that we're good. It looks like Mark's doing a great job there. All right, we have a question that says, what is the difference between hosted, syndicated, and template? Well, syndicated applies to hosted and template. So a syndicated promotion can be set up as a hosted or set up as a template. So a hosted means that you have all the control from the top. So you as a parent level account can create the promotion, manage it from the parent level, and syndicate it down to the child account. And then what's nice about that is as the contest is running, or as you need to pick a winner, you get an aggregate of that information. So you can choose a winner from all the different accounts that you've syndicated it as a hosted promotion. As a template, all you're doing is creating it as a template that other stations can use. Now, once they've installed that as a template, then it's theirs to use. There's no more control from the top. So let's see, we got, looks like Mark is answering one of the questions that came in here. I'll go ahead and answer one as he's typing. Are any Aptivata users brackets still in the running for the $1 million, or all brackets busted at this point? I don't know for sure. I don't have those statistics, but I can 99.99% confidently say that the brackets have been busted. Looking at a statistic from ESPN, there was 14 million or so brackets that were filled out on the ESPN account, and after the game 28, every single one of them was busted. So yeah. Who won the Peloton? That's a great question. It was individual by the name of Fisher out of Cox Media Group. So we did pick a winner for that. I believe we announced that one on LinkedIn, since that was a LinkedIn promotion that we're trying to promote there. All right. What does the integration with the Promo Suite provide? Promo Suite is similar to kind of a contest, a prize closet. So I believe it ties in the promotional element of keeping track of contests and winners within the Promo Suite application. So we just are able to now move that data over to Promo Suite with that integration. A similar integration that some of you might be familiar with is vCreative or vPromotions. So it functions a lot like that one as well. Great questions. Is there anything else? Go ahead and take this moment to enter the giveaway if you were a latecomer, because we will jump into picking a winner. But question again in the chat, do you integrate with vPromo 2? Yes, we do. So if you're interested in that integration, please write into support, and we can help you get that set up. So if you have vPromo, in fact, you could actually reach out to them and they can tell you what information they need to integrate with Aptivata. It's a different setup than adding the integration like I showed you on this call. But if you need assistance with that, then you can actually reach out to the vPromo team to help you set that one up. All right, well, 30 more seconds for questions. And as we wait, we'll go ahead and navigate over to picking a winner. The way I have it set up is Mark is going to DM me the name of the winner, and I'll announce it. And go ahead and find that raise hand button in the attendee list there, because that's how we'll determine if you're here or not. We'll go ahead and announce that winner. So Mark, as soon as you're ready, it looks like we don't have any more questions. Hopefully all the questions you had are answered. And if not, of course, you can reach out to us at support@aptivata.com. You can also contact us via the chat within the Aptivata admin. And then our number is 801-901-2011. And I was just DM'd a winner here. So if your name is Tiffany Romero, raise your hand. You must be present to win. Looks like we have it. There we go, all the way to the top. Tiffany, congratulations. And we thank everyone for joining. This is recorded, and we'll have a version of this available on our help.aptivata.com page. And I believe a recording will be mailed out as well. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future.